Welcome to another video. Today we're going to do another tarot review. Although I have to tell you, this is not technically a tarot card deck. This is the Buckley Gypsy Fortunetelling cards. And this came out of a kit. The Buckley Complete Gypsy Fortunetelling by Ray Buckland. Now, I got this particular kit online, and it came to me from friends of the San Francisco Library. And the kit here, you see a book, you see a box and some cards, and you see this lovely large mat that comes with it. Now, I got everything in the kit but the box for the cards. So, this is the mat. Actually quite large. Not only is it large, but it's two-sided. So you have the Buckland 7 stars and the Romani star. And I have used the mat to do readings with these particular cards pretty much every time. And the cards themselves are fascinating. They are not what you would consider a tarot deck because they have traditional playing card. So a lot of people think that the Lenormand deck is first and foremost a playing card deck, but I found that these cards too have that, but they are slightly different in that they have these cards, which are very much like a standard tarot card major arcana. They have 1 through 21. They don't have a 0, they have a 22, and this is used as a significator card. What you do is you place it in the middle of the reading, and you have them put something of personal significance on top of the card that connects this whole reading to this card so that we know which person we're doing this reading for. And each one of these cards has what they call a varo on it here. We read the first one. They call it Boro Little, and I don't know if you can see that. Borolil. So this is called a yek, an approaching vardo. This is called a passing bardo. I don't know if this is in focus or not. This is a departing vardo. Here, I'm going to show you the significator card a little better. Looks like a gypsy telling her fortune. Now, this is called the Gypsy Fortunetelling deck, but I have been told by Romani themselves that's pretty much a slur. Well, no, it is not pretty much. It is definitely a slur. So there is a small explanation about where the name Gypsy came from in the book that everything came with. And when I talk to other people about it, so that I don't use a slur, I call this my Romani deck, even though it's not labeled in that way. He did definitely base this off of the Romani fortune telling he experienced when he was younger. So the fourth one here, give you a little better look at that. Oops, didn't flip the page. This is a flat card. And each one of these cards, and this is a harness. Like, this is a harness, and the definition or the meaning for this is restriction, outside control, little flexibility. So each one relates to, of course, the image. This one is neglected Vardo. It is discouragement, delays, plans go awry, frustration, sickness, disgrace, economy, frugality. So just a little background about these cards in particular. These came out in the 80s. This kit has a 1989 is when this came out. Maybe I'm wrong, because that says Buckland's Gypsy Fortunetelling deck. This is fortune-telling cards. Well, and the book says 1996. So I may have thought this was from the 80s, but it might actually be from the 90s. I'm having a hard time telling. So either way, they're older and they're very unique. And so far I've had some amazing readings with these cards. My coworkers at work have requested that this is the deck that I bring in for them if I'm going to bring in anything. They really do prefer this over any of the other tarot cards or oracle cards that I have. And mind you, I'll show you the backing. Backing is really pretty. So this is probably the second oldest deck. The first oldest, of course, that I have was the one that I showed you in my last review video. This card here, Cos Terengro, making clothespins. So they would sell clothespins for money. So, dexterity, satisfaction, patience, concentrate, rewards to come. So, it's really an amazingly gorgeous set of cards. And it's not just the borrow cards that are really pretty. The aces, as you can see, have borrows on them. And the kings and queens have some pretty lovely figures. Mind you, tarot cards have kings, queens, pages, and knights. But we have the standard playing cards here. We only have the jack. So some of these cards figure a female jack, and some of them figure a male jack. King, queen, and jack. And this one's more ambiguous. I don't know if it's a boy with his hair tied back or that's a female. So, but otherwise they're just a standard deck of playing cards. This one definitely looks more female. You have a jack, a queen. each face is entirely different. I'll show you all the aces real quick. There's another ace with another varro on it. Here's another ace with a different varro on it. Bardo. And here's the last one. So, but very similar in fact to Lenormand, you have a set of readings based off of these cards. So, an ace of diamonds is letter soon to be received, which is very similar to the Lenormand deck and any of the systems that use cards, standard playing cards as fortune telling. But what I really liked about this set is that after you get through all of those, when you have 2, 3, or 4 cards of the same denomination coming together, they have a special meaning, and they go aces through 7s. They don't do 6 through 2. And I've always wondered if like getting a multiple of the same card in a deck meant anything, because I thought it was always interesting when you got multiple aces or so on and so forth. And they say like 4 aces is danger, failure, and business. 3 aces is good tidings. 2 aces is a plot. Like, so the meanings are completely different. You know, 4 aces versus 2 is not just something that's just more intense as you get more aces or whatnot. I mean, the meanings are completely different. 4 kings, rewards, dignities, honors, reversed. These will be less, but received sooner. 3 kings, consultation on important business with very satisfactory results. 2 kings, a partnership in business. 4 queens, company. 3 queens, friendly calls. 2 queens, a meeting between friends. So it's absolutely fascinating, and it's something that I felt like I've always looked for in a deck, when you get multiples of things having a specific meaning. So this deck is amazing, but it's only just a portion of the kit. And like I said, it is a favorite among the people that I do readings for at my job. They really prefer this deck over any of them. And when I first got this deck, I think it had been probably in a closet somewhere or in a box of some kind. So me bringing it out and using it was something very favorable for this deck to finally be able to be out and about and to be used. And almost immediately I got a sensation from the cards of, please use us. We want to be seen, we want to be used. And this is the deck that I did my first business reading on this channel. So you'll probably see it again if I'm going to be doing any fortune telling where I need specific day-to-day sort of interactions. I feel like tarot cards are these giant concepts that we have, and they're very important in that respect. But this is very grounded in reality, and it's also been extremely accurate. I've had a coworker who did a reading, and it said that she was going to get engaged, but she was going to be disappointed. And I looked at her and I'm like, what do you mean you're going to get engaged? And just, oh yeah. She's like, he asks me all the time. I'm not particularly interested. And so it really did happen. They actually got engaged, but she was sort of disappointed in the fact that she was going to have to settle down, because she really does love and care for this guy, but ultimately she's this wild and free spirit. So she felt like saying no to him would make her lose the relationship, and she didn't want that. But I don't think, from the way she's talked about everything, that he really is going to chain her to anything. He has a very good understanding of who she is and what she needs to be happy. So honestly, I think her disappointment is pretty minor, but it was just still a really big stun to see these two cards together, you know, engagement and disappointment. And I'll show you how we know that they're together by showing you the platform here. The little, see, you've got 3 cards and they're read together. So you have the significator card here in the middle, and they place whatever personal item on top of it. And in this particular layout, you start all the way up here, and you have event ending to start with, and then you go to event beginnings and hopes and fears and inner strength and positive energy and negative energy, and then the final outcome all the way up at the top. And then in reverse, and this is the one oftentimes I have used for my coworkers, which is this side, is that you have the significator in the middle, and you place these 2 cards, and they have influence over each other. And the further you get away from the significator card, the less it's the person and the more that it's outside influences. And so you've got this stuff here. You've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that affects them quite directly. So it's definitely their current situation, either past or present. So, and you have little hints here. So, now it's upside down for me. Read the cards in pairs. So, when I say that she had disappointment and engagement together, they were a pair card here. I think they were actually probably up in this section. A pair card here. So they influenced one another, and these 2 pairs were read together. And these 2 pairs are read together. And these 2 pairs are read together, and so on and so forth. Until you circle out toward the things that are furthest away from the person. So this is a 20 card spread, not including the significator. So the last 2 cards are down here at the very bottom. So 18, 19, 20. And 9 and 10 are off the thing, so you actually have cards that come off of this. So, and I mean, the reading was incredibly accurate, and I found that all the things that I put forth for her came very much true within, I say, a month. And she loved it, and she wants me to, of course, bring the cards back for her to do another reading. We have another friend, of course, who has quite a bit of issues with one particular gentleman in her life. And the whole reading was, yeah, you know, you really need to get your life straight and get this guy out of your life, because he's not any good for you, and you know he's not any good for you, and everybody tells you he's no good for you. So she realized that, of course, and she wanted a reading a month later, but she still hadn't, even after a month, gotten rid of him. But within the 2nd month, she had done something, and she'd done something about it, and we're all very happy for her at this point. But I want to talk about the book. The book isn't just tarot cards. It is a complete book of all certain divinations and things that you get for fortune telling for gypsies. So this is the table of contents, and I'm going to read it to you, because I have referred to this book during my my tea leaf reading that I did in a previous video. So introduction is the coming of the gypsies, which explains exactly where that particular word comes from. Dunkering, hand reading, which is palmistry. Tea leaf reading, crystal gazing, card reading, tarots and playing cards. They have both in here. Dice, dominoes, moles, fire reading, crystals and gemstones, sticks and stones, knives and needles, omens and portents, a cold reading, and a final word. So this has segments on amazing amount of divination, and it's just a phenomenal book, and it's very easy to use. This is one of my bookmarks. Oh, here it is. This is my card from Friends of the San Francisco Public Library. So this is the people that actually sold me this kit in the first place. Oh, I'm so glad that I put that in there. And you have like a website and an email address, and I think I'm going to link them in the description of this one so that they see that these cards are being used and they are well loved. So as a kit, I think this kit is pretty amazing. Obviously, the only flaw to this is the fact that there's Gypsy on everything, and it's a slur. And we've gotten away from using that, and I really do call this my Romani deck at every turn. And the one last thing that I wanted to show you before I end this is the fact that since there was no box for this, I got my own little bag to put this in, and it's sort of this vinyl kind of material, and it actually is big enough that this fits inside of it. So I'm able to keep this with the cards and keep this in here. And you've got the little pips from the things. You've got a diamond and a spade and a heart and a club on here, and a beautiful Romani looking woman with tattoos on her leg on the front. And I got this online. I don't remember if I got it off of Etsy or eBay. I want to say this is Etsy. Definitely want to say this is Etsy, and it came from like Europe. So it took me a while to get this. I was anticipating this for a while, and I really looked online for a bag that fit this particular deck perfectly, and I found this. I was like, oh my gosh. It's got fortune telling and palmistry reading, and it's got the pips on it, and it has a beautiful woman on the front of it who's obviously dressed in Romani style clothing, although she's a little scantily clad. So if I can go and find the lady who made this, I'll link that as well, because this is absolutely perfect for this deck. And I was so excited to find it, because this is such a treasured piece in my collection that it needed an absolutely fantastic bag to go with it. All right. I think that's everything, really. You have this one here says 1988 on it, so I don't know if this deck is actually from 1988, because the book is from 1996. So maybe he had all these things separate and put them together. So I'm not really sure how old this collection is, because like I said, this is 1996 on it. So I'm not really sure when this kit came out, but it's a fantastic kit, and I really, really, really enjoy it. And of course on the back you have Buckland next to a Vardo, which is amazing. Thank you for watching my video today. I plan on doing another tarot review. I'm planning on doing quite a few of them this month. I have my own decks that I'd like you to see, and then I have bought some new ones that I want to review for you. So look forward to another video soon. Bye.